Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a great time. Bulut and I for sure do. Has been a great start this morning of the Data in the AI Summit. And now we are happy to share our story. By now, I think you already know this slide. It's just, and also this one, so this is just a quick reminder. Please complete your surveys. It will help Databricks to improve the Data in the AI Summit and work on the content. Again, welcome to our presentation where we'll talk about Lely, how Lely uses data, why we think it will unlock the future of dairy farming, and which role the Databricks Marketplace played in that one. But first of all, quick introduction from ourselves. This is my colleague Bulut.
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Bulut Fıçıcı. I'm working as a data platform engineer at Lely for the last 3 years now. I helped Lely to build and architect the Databricks platform and tailored it for Lely's needs, basically. And we have currently more than 300 active users and around 40 workspaces.
Yeah, and myself, I'm Simon Greci, working as a data engineer for Lely for already several years. On a day-to-day basis, I manage different data projects for different robots. And the day starts with talking to the embedded engineering teams on how and which data to send to the cloud. And taking over the data in the cloud, building classic data pipelines, and then making the data available to our stakeholders and analysts. During this presentation, we want to explore Lely's data product strategy with the Databricks Marketplace, which experiences we made, what were the learnings, what went well, what didn't go well, where we think there's still space for improvement. But first of all, who or what is Lely? Here we are. Yeah, it's a long time ago that Lely started. It started in the year 1948 when this Dutch family business was founded. And farming back then, as it is now, was a tough job. Very long, hard days, no weekends, no vacation, and modest earnings. So the goal of the founders was to change agriculture traditions, make the farmers' lives easier, more enjoyable, and less monotonous. And the two founders, the Van der Lely brothers, kicked this journey off with their first invention, the wheel rake. And this marks the start of an innovative culture that continues to thrive within the company until this very day. And since then, a long time has passed, Lely has grown to become the market leader in automated systems for dairy farmers worldwide. And this journey and this development is also highlighted by some impressive figures. So as of today, 2,500 employees are working for Lely, where only a part of them is located in the Netherlands. And their passion for innovations, their passions for inventions kept on going, and this is also reflected in their yearly investments of more than 8% of the annual product turnover into R&D. And this makes Lely the top 20 R&D companies in the Netherlands. And also, these investments resulted in a very impressive number of 1,500 living patents as of today. But not only Lely was changing the last 75 years, but also the world around us keeps on changing, and the challenges for the farmers remain. So the global population is continuously increasing, and so does the food demand. And the food has to come from somewhere. And therefore, we need the farmers, so we have our food on our plate on a daily basis. It is estimated by 2050 that the food demand will increase by 50 to 70%. As said, the challenges remain. Customers are getting more and more critical about their food. Where does it come from? How is it produced? And is it produced in a sustainable way? At the same time, farmers have to deal with stricter and stricter regulations worldwide, and the changing environment is a reality. So the farm of the future for Lely is a farm which is acceptable to the farmers, to the society, and also to the animals. And therefore, Lely offers a diversity of solutions. So here you have an overview of the recent innovations of Lely, which are aiming to make the lives of the farmers easier and their herd more sustainable and profitable and enjoyable. So let me tell you from personal experience, when you are at a farm which operates a lot of Lely robots, it looks like a place from the future. You approach the farm from far away and you already see the Lely Exos, the grass mowing robot, running up down the fields and cutting the grass there. You see it on the top middle. And it brings the fresh cut grass into the barns. When you enter the barn, you don't have this typical farm smell because the Lely sphere is 24/7 operating and washing the air. You see it here on the left center. And this Lely robot can reduce the nitrogen emissions in the farm up to 77%. At the same time, the Lely vector goes up and down and brings fresh, prepared feed to the cows. The feed is prepared in the feeding kitchen. And fun fact about preparing the food, about mixing the food, the mixing part is very important because as we humans, also the cows love the high-caloric, tasty stuff, but they also have to eat the healthy parts. So you have to cut it into very small pieces so they cannot separate it and they eat the healthy stuff and also the high-caloric stuff. And hey, by the way, all these robots are continuously sending data to the cloud, which we then use to add even more value to these products. And give me a few moments to dive into a few robots in more detail. I think I will really try. So when you talk about Lely, you have to talk about the Lely astronaut. It's already there since 1992, so already a very long time. And this is a milk robot, which milks the cows without any interaction of the farmers. So it gives the farmer more time during the day to do other stuffs or get a little bit of rest. So how does it work? It's getting set up on the farms, and the cows can decide on their own when they want to get milked. So if they feel the urge to get milked, they enter this robot. They wear a tag around their neck. This one is scanned, so it is checked if it's really time to milk the cow again. Because sometimes they also want to go there more often, because again, there's nice, tasty food. So sometimes you just have to let them through. So you already start collecting data there. And if you have green light, then the cow gets milked. The milk is analyzed directly. And the milk is also analyzed. So you don't want to have certain things like dirt ending up in the big tank, which is then also sold to the customers. But so it is analyzed right away and then flushed out of the system. And all this is also sent to the cloud and used for further analysis. As an extension to the Lely astronaut.
Do the cows get food if they don't get milk, or they only get
No,
food?
they only get feed, because you have to train them. Yeah, exactly. So an extension to the Lely astronaut is the Lely's milk factory, the Lely orbiter. So you can connect the Lely astronauts to this milk factory, and it runs 24/7 and processes the milk and fills it up into bottles. And these bottles, there was an own brand created, it's called Mijn Melk, and these bottles are sold in Dutch supermarkets. And as I have mentioned before, for the customers, it's becoming more and more important where the milk comes from or where the products come from. So it has on top a QR code which you can scan, and then you get all the information about the milk in this bottle. So you know exactly when was the cow milked, where this milk comes from, when was the cow born, on which farm does this cow live, and the whole story is animated with nice graphics, but backed up with the data which is continuously collected on the farms. Talking about data continuously collecting on the farms, you also have to talk about the Lely Horizon, Lely's farm management software. So this is the platform for the farmers where all the data comes together and gives a lot of insights to the farmers to manage the farm, to make his farm more profitable, enjoyable, and sustainable. And on top of this, the system also provides advices to the farmers to make their lives even more easier. So, I have now talked a lot about Lely, what Lely does, and I want to develop now, together with you, a new robot, or more specifically, a new data strategy for the robot. So Bulut and I were sitting together and thought, wouldn't it be fun if we just thought of a milking shake robot? I have to admit, Lely is almost there, because I said we have the milking robot, the Lely astronaut, and the Lely orbiter, the milking factory. And since the latest release, it can also produce cafe lattes. So we're almost there, but we thought for this presentation, we create a robot which can offer more flavors, and we make it even more compact, so we don't need this extra milkshake, milk factory. So what usually happens, the product development teams start developing the robot. The data teams are involved at an early stage to discuss what data should be sent to the cloud. And this is a very powerful tool, because then you can already start discussing with the team right from the source which data is sent to the cloud, how much data do we need to cover the information. So send as much as needed, but as little as possible. That's what we are trying here. Usually the first customers are the developers and testers, to set up the data-driven development approach, to iterate faster on what's happening on the robots. You can validate quicker and fix the robot at a faster pace. The long-term goals are, though, Lely wants to build the smartest farms, smart robots, and they want to reduce the effort in the field. So you need less technicians to support these robots, and you help out with data tackling these issues. So we said we have the new robot. What you want to avoid at this point in time is you don't want to launch massive programs to meet all data needs, because it will take a very long time to deliver, and it might not consider all users or use cases. So we want to avoid this big bang. But on the other hand, we also want to avoid the grassroots approach, where individual teams are building their customized data pipelines from the raw data again and again, and you end up with a lot of duplication. So, what is a better approach? We think is a data product approach, where you have really clear ownership of your data products. It's usage-centric. So very often it happens, you just upload the data to the cloud, you do some processing, and then you provide it to say to your stakeholders, hey, there's the data, use it. But the idea here in the data products approach is to really have the users in mind, and also design the data products accordingly and manage the data products properly. At Lely, we see data products as carefully curated data sets plus metadata. So in our milking shake robot scenario, this could be a milkshake yield data product, for example, plus some associated data assets. So it doesn't only need to be one table, it can be reports, files, and also tables. What are the benefits? So efficiency, for sure, according to a paper from McKinsey, is you can reduce the time to implement new use cases by up to 90%, and you can also reduce the ownership costs, like duplicate processing and sorts like that, by up to 30%. It is very scalable and flexible, because for new use cases, you can reuse existing data products. And also, in terms of scalability, it's important that you already have different consumption types in mind. So you want to offer your data product to applications, big data, analytic tools, and to sort like that. And since you have a properly managed data product, you have a very high quality data product, and it reduces the risks and gets rid of the governance burdens. So we thought we were there, Lely. We had the grassroots approach. We had the big bang approach. We thought, yeah, we want to make it more mature using the data product approach. However, which platform can we use for that one, to use the data products? how can we deal with exits management? Can we even track the success of the data product so the product managers can decide on which direction to go? And Bulut will now give you the answers to these questions we had.
Thank you, Simon. So we asked ourselves these questions at the beginning of our journey, and we will also try to answer these questions together here with a demo at the end of our presentation. But now, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever used Databricks Marketplace? Can you please raise your hand if you did so? No? 1, 2, 3, few. Okay, I see more hands. The second question is maybe not relevant anymore that much, but have you ever provided data sets or data products to Databricks Marketplace? Yeah. So it actually proves the point as well. So what we had in our mind was this is an interesting exercise because it clearly shows that there's still an untapped potential in Marketplace. No one uses it currently, but there is few providers. We will have a look at it together as well. But we also at Lely tried to tap into that potential by using the Databricks Marketplace as an internal solution for knowledge sharing. So let's start with the history of the marketplace. Databricks released public marketplace around 2 years ago with the idea of enabling companies sharing their data products in an open manner. So when you were sharing your product there, then you were basically enabling all the world, not only companies using the Databricks, but also external users to reach out your data product because this is powered by data sharing. And as you know, also you can share your data by data sharing with external parties. Like it can be universities, startups, researchers, even students in universities, right? So if we go back to our Lely milkshaking robot, then maybe we can say that we collect this vast amount of data from all over the world, from a lot of robots and cows, and we just want to basically give this data product to the people using Databricks. So let's say a student working on a thesis about cow health or happiness can use our data product, and basically we can contribute to the well-being of the cows by doing so. But what happens if we want to share a private or sensitive data? Then we need another solution, private marketplace. So let's say we have this private data that we want to share with the retailers that we have. It can be Walmart, 7-Eleven, right? Let's say they want to see our milkshake in their shelves, and we want to give them our supply data or inventory data, or we want the demand data from them. And they can share basically also the AI models, like their demand estimation model, like machine learning models. And we can give the supply data. That's a win-win for everybody, basically. And Databricks enabled us to do so by this private marketplace. You basically select your member, like a customer, Walmart, let's say. You get their Metastore ID, and then you create a member in the exchange. And in Lely, we tweaked that ID a little bit and use our own Metastore ID to create a member in our own exchange. By doing so, we were able to share like data sets like training or onboarding, or let's say knowledge sharing, or maybe milkshaking data demo, and how the data flows from robot to the cloud, or vice versa, cloud to the robot. So that's a hub for us, a knowledge hub for us, that we basically share data with our own data product teams. Now I want to show you a little bit about the demo, how we did so, and also we will be answering the questions that we asked earlier. So this is Marketplace. You can see it from this left tab. And there are quite a lot of filters. You see these products that is provided. And the number of providers are increasing almost every day. It was definitely less than 329 last week. And a lot of also free products are provided. I want to show you how we can access it, actually. Like with a cookies data set. that we had from last year's Data and AI Summit. If you have seen the keynotes from last year, Casey was giving a live demo about this data set. And you basically click this button, get instant access, and you select this option of if you want to use it in your Databricks environment, or if you do it externally using Delta sharing, and choose yourself a catalog name. And it is pretty fast, I should admit. It takes a couple seconds, let's say, depending on your workspace. But then you see it in your workspace quite fast. Let's see this customers table. It will take a few minutes to display all data, but let's have a look at the details. So we see the storage location S3, which is also interesting in our opinion, because this is AWS, right, S3, but we are using it in Azure, which is Microsoft. So it also really helps with the hybrid cloud setups, because you can share data pretty easy and fast. So, and one thing to mention here is this is now showing as me, the creator. And now I am able to distribute this data inside of my organization. So when you get a data from public and private marketplace, that works well. Then you can share with other colleagues of yours. But if you're using it internally, you would like to implement more governance features and more access controls on the data that you share. So that's a bit of a governance issue that we had while developing this internal marketplace. But as you see, this is super fast. And now I want to show you a little bit about the provider console as well. And this is how we created our profile here. And this already answers the question of which tool we can use to build the product. Marketplace here as a provider profile, you create yourself a profile. In our case, it's Lely, international family business in the agricultural sector, making farmers' lives easier. And how to build the product, right? That was one of the most important questions that we have. So here, we have this data product called Milkshake Data Demo. And let's have a look at the inside of the thing together. So you can define your name, description, provider profile, of course. But also it's important to select, like publicly or privately. You choose which exchange. In our case, it's Milkshake Exchange. And which assets you share with as well. Tables, files, models, or notebooks, it could be. And you also define attributes for your data products, like the size of your data set, how often you update it, or like the geographic coverage. In our case, it's Europe. And more descriptions and sample notebooks so that you can enable people to use it faster and on board with the data set. We're not going to change anything for now, but I also want to show you this consumer request section. So we asked ourselves how to manage the access controls, right? Like how to govern, how to have a look at who requested access or not. So in our case, here we see Bulut, myself or Simon, as the requesters already. And also a colleague of ours, Alex, has requested last week to help us with this demo. And as you see here, there are 3 sections like fulfill, and you select the share, delta share that you want to give access to. Pending, I need some more time to think about it if I really want to give access or not, or deny with a reason. So let's say that I will have a look at it after the presentation. And the last question that we had was how to keep track of the success of the products that we share. And I think Databricks helps us quite a lot with that already with the provided dashboard. So we didn't have to do anything. We only enabled the system tables, the marketplace system tables. And there was this button over there that we clicked, and we have this dashboard powered by the system tables. So as you know, you can also check more about your account usage, like let's say compute usage, or who created a request to Databricks Assistant, ask which question, and those sorts of that. And we use the marketplace system tables to get these information. And you see here who requested access to which product, when, did we give access or not, the installation attempts, successful views, and so on. So that's how we keep the track of the success of our product. So let's go back to our presentation. And to sum up, actually, yes, Databricks Marketplace, especially the public and private marketplaces, we found them as a really good solution, a solid solution for focusing on your data product approach and increase the observability or reusability of your data products, especially with the lakehouse architecture, because that architecture gives the power of owning the data to the data product teams. Data products came and gained more importance, because then this is the next step. I see this as this natural extension of the architecture, lakehouse architecture, because then the data products can be also shared, and you give the power of sharing your own product to the data product teams as well. When it comes to the internal marketplace, we made it work for Lely, for our use cases, especially for knowledge sharing. However, there are some small governance issues with them as well. And we heard from the Databricks team that there will be a dedicated internal marketplace coming on, and they will be probably announcing it keynote as well tomorrow or Thursday. So we are also really happy to test that one out. Yeah, overall, marketplaces are a good place and good way to go if you want to share your products. Thank you for listening to us, and please don't forget to fill out the surveys. And yeah, thanks.